Hello, Ahlan. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Fascinations of Egypt and the Arab World. I'm your host, Ahmed Swifi, director of Lighthouse Arabic Academy. Today, get ready to be enchanted as we dive into the world of Muwashahat poetry and music, symphony of words and melodies that has echoed through ages. And we are going to talk about Andalusian Muwashahat, Egyptian Muwashahat, the old and modern Muwashahat as well. So stay tuned. Muwashahat as a word, you know, many of you know as, Muwashah, which also it's singular, plural is Muwashahat, and some of you already know the meaning, and you might guess it's just, it's about Wishah, the cover or the scarf, or some of you know as, like the meaning was the literal meaning of Muwashahat. Um, and it's a word that dances off the tongue, isn't it? So, but what it does really mean, and why does it hold special place, a very special place in the hearts of those who love this beauty of agriculture, and why it's just not like a traditional poetry, not like the classical Arabic poetry, for example. And I will give you a very quick answer because it's a very short podcast. But as you will see, you'll find um, this art has a lot of mixed cultures. Like you will find Arab words, Arabic words, Turkish or Turkish language words like aman aman aman, and aman aman also exists in Arabic language, but when people use in Muwashahat, it means guide me, God, may you guide me, I'm lost, something like that. So it's mixed with old Spanish or Andalusian, Arabic, Berber, and and also even Hebrew. Uh, so it's mixed with a lot of um, variety and different cultures, and influences as well. To unreveal this poetic melody, I'm going to, talk about some of these unique forms of poetry and back to the medieval period that makes them special, because that time it was a evolution in, as I said, unlikely the very traditional poetry which was based on qafia, which is like the suffix, or the last or the ending of poetic lines. And in this case you will find so many of this muwashahat, which we are going to talk about it now. um, Started from 8th century, and some people say also it's just not the end of 8th century, or some sources say that from 11th century. But either way, at least from 11th century, um, it was confirmed that they exist. And مقامات or مقام ibn Mufa al-Qabi, and which the first Muashah ever. So the golden age of Arabic civilizations, that Muashah, this kind of art or poetry, Muashahat, was exist. The old Muashahat until 12, and also some people will say that until 13th centuries, because this poetic representation developed and expanded up to Cairo. So it started from Andalus, which is old Spain, until it reached already to Cairo and Aleppo or Halab in Syria. So this Muashah, as we say, it's singular form, Muashahat in plural form. Either way, it's if you say that or this, it's okay. It's musical expansion of Muashah in Middle East. It's the musical compositions from the 19th century. Also, I would say, in particular, was Omar al-Batsh in Syria and Said Darwish in Egypt. They started to also develop this one. So you will find, that's why I was saying I mentioned from the beginning there was old Muwashahat and new Muwashahat. And you find even some of the traditional musical form of Muwashahat and its music. You can find part of Nuba in and also and part of Al Wasla in Syria and Egypt and part of Nuba in Egypt or also in Maghreb. And this musical, you know, suits and each very specific structure can exist. And I would say like this is the dance is never far away, but let's not go so quickly that that part. And specifically or specification, the muashah is also used in al-sama or the Sufi chant. And you know that muashahat has a very beautiful spiritual connection with mysticism or Andalusian mysticism, especially. And then you will ask me, what's the difference between Arab mysticism and Andalusian mysticism? Okay, that's another topic because it's a very long story. It's controversial, sensitive topic, but I would say it's a Sufism or Andalusian Sufism. They also used Moshahat for that spiritual love of God or the spiritual expressions of God. So when it start to put into musical form, the rhythm, each one of the words, and musicality, and the great richness of the rhythms used, and this makes it very interesting and for dancing. That's why, as I said, you'll find many of people start to talk about this, and there is a confusion to avoid. Okay, because some people start to use a sami muashahat, which, as we said, some of them used for a special sami was a special way, and then some of them start to talk about it like all muashahat are the same. But we will discover that there's old muashahat and new muashahat. Why muashahat is that so important? As you see, people start to develop this type or this kind of poetry. It's pretty much because they want to find an easy way to express themselves. So musical tradition, you know, and the Andalusian roots of Moshahat, as we said, it's originated in Andalus and from the 11th century to late 13th century. The pieces of the musical traditions, the pieces we use for dance from Syrian Egyptian tradition. Some of these use old poetry of Moshahat, whilst some use more recently composed poems or in Moshahat or in Moshah form. Anyway, so however, musical compositions themselves are not from Andalus because some of them, as we said, start to be developed many لما بدأ يتسنى is the best known موشح. The lyrics are thought to be very old, but the melody used today was composed in Egypt in the 19th century. Um, and for many Egyptians, or many Egyptian Moshahat were composed in the 19th century. And as you see, we talk about many of those Darwish, Said Darwish, Egyptian composer, wrote several ones, as we said, important part of Egyptian musical tradition, especially before al-Ughniya or developed a long song like the one that you hear.